one more. See you in a minute.
Gate to the Masonic section. What you see today is eroded and decayed. But back in the 1800s, this was a beautiful meditative garden, a quiet place of contemplation by the Virginia City residents. Cemeteries with the forerunners. This is the park. If you follow me, I'd like you to meet our first resident, Ernest Wedding.
I had a talk with the residents. So you didn't hear this. I had a long talk with the residents, and they said we're doing such a good thing for them that if they don't mind, just stand. Ernest, you have company.
Yes, I see that. Good day to you.
Good day.
Hope you can understand me all right. My parents, John and Cecilia, came over from Cornwall, England. Though I was born in California, never did shake the accent. I'm 23 years old. Had a sister and brother, but sister died when she was just 3, and Samuel, 9 months. Guess I was the lucky one. You know, there's an article in the paper a while back about our cemeteries. The reporter was very direct in his comments regarding our lack of respect for the dead. Article went something like this. There are many who lie rotting in shallow graves about our city. How few there are upon which the hands of kindred or friendship have erected a monument to show where the dust was once buoyant with hope, now reposes. We cannot believe that the greed of gold and wealth has so absorbed the souls of the living among us that they forget about the dead as soon as they're placed beneath the sod. Doesn't appear much has changed, huh? Bit of a mess all in all. My mother'd be very distressed at the lack of care. She was a kind-hearted woman. Well, we moved to the Comstock in 1870. Lived on South Howard Street there on the divide between Virginia City and Gold Hill. My dad did try a bit of mining. Most did. But he ended up opening a small grocery store on C Street. He died October 9th, 11:45 p.m. Never forget that day. I loved my father dearly. He was a hard-working man. It was up to me to run the store. Got married, tried to do the right thing by my wife. But this was a stressful, hard place to live. I was sad that day. December 19th. Getting close on to Christmas time. Walked into my store on C Street with a vial in my pocket. Asked Richards, my head clerk, for a glass of water. Hey. Yeah. Here goes Jimmy.
Richards, the head clerk, took the vial to Cool's drugs. It contained 60 grams of morphine. They moved Ernest to the Kavanagh lodging house, where the doctors worked on him for hours. He died at 12:30 a.m. at the age of 23. Let us go. Charlotte is our next resident, also buried in the Masonic section. All of them.
Please tell me everybody's back so I don't have to tell anymore.
Yes.
Charlotte was the first woman buried in the Masonic cemetery, which was designed in the shape of a shovel with the point facing east.
This whole area was once covered with clover and morning glory. That would help our friends in keeping up their relatives' graves. We would be careful and they protect the plants from the end of the sun. But what has happened here?
Charlotte, that was a long time ago, and people are trying to fix it. Can you tell us about yourself?
Well, most of us will meet it many times before arriving on the Comstock. Yes, it is a place perceived as a man's playground, but as more women arrive, it became a very stylish place to live. if we had the money. I was lucky. I was married to the story counter assessor and was well off. But like my friend Georgina, her husband was always sick and out of work. It seemed she would pay her bills and then lose all her savings, sometimes in lining stocks. She was so happy just to have winter provision and a large pig in the corral. But that would change any minute. Most of the women worked running boarding houses, housekeeping, laundry. Oh, and yes, we had prostitution. I had a wonderful life here. One filled with travel, family, and friends. Oh, I particularly enjoyed all the performances at Piper's Opera House. It's always very well done. It used to be a mining camp, but this was a woman's city. It used to be so noisy here with all the mining equipment and machinery. Right now, it's so quiet. Surely I would not sleep well without the noise. Traveling was a very important part of my life, and one afforded by my husband's good job. Trips to the lake were part of my summers. Oh, as well as parties at the Bowers Mansion. I also enjoyed my stagecoach trips to Cisco. Though, I remember one ended badly, I think.
Charlotte took a trip with her family and 3 children to Cisco.
I can feel the stagecoach falling to its side.
The coach overturned and Charlotte was pressed through the curtain onto the wheel.
Oh, my head hurts. I can't move.
She had an awful gash on the right side of her forehead, and once freed, was laid on the side of the road, her children watching.
I can hear you, sweetheart. But I can't answer.
She died within half an hour. Her funeral was very well attended. 60 carriages and many on horseback and on foot. She was a lovely lady and very well liked. Let us go.
Okay, that's it.
We are now leaving the Masonic section and heading for a section known as the West End to meet Lavinia, a Comstock spiritualist. This will be a treat. Of sorts. All of the epitaphs were done by the stone carver or by a family member. Only one marker in our cemetery has a poem on it by the famous poet Robert Frost. So short of death the marbles rhyme, yet can't help marking the time. How is it no one dead shall come? What is it men are shrieking from?
Let's go! Come on! Come on, I don't have all day here.
That's Lavinia.
Come on!
Let's wait for the wind. Very well. Lavinia, would you
I don't need any help from you, widow. I know what I'm doing here. Just move it to the back of the crowd. Go on. Hi, everybody. I'm looking. How about you? Can I see your hand? Oh, you're planning a special event, aren't you? And you know what else? Disregard the concerns of others and choose your own tablecloths. How about you? Can I see your hand? Oh, you have a very sexy and loving wife, don't you? It would be wise of you to follow her directions, as she is most certainly always right. You. How about you? You have a problem, don't you? It seems like you are always misplacing things. Sparkies? Water bottles? I suggest that taking vitamin may help you.
Lavinia, I think you've done enough. We haven't
All right, nag. Nag. I love reading palms, but my greatest skills are the seances, attended by the likes of Mark Twain, and I made sure those were the best. Say, by the way, what are you all thinking about here anyway? Oh, yeah, I know. This place is a dump. And don't we think the tree is a bit much? Has anyone ever heard of garden shears? You're missing the best part of my stone. Death is but a kindly frost that cracks the shell and leaves the kernel room to germinate. Beautiful, just beautiful. My coffin was to die for, too. Society Hall was located under the dental office of Dr. Power at 34 B Street. We had a big following. Women are intuitive and able to set aside self in order to receive spirits and communications from the dead. The Victorian period didn't allow for women to have much to say about life and politics. But as a spiritualist, I could say any damn thing I wanted and have the crowd's attention. I got yours, didn't I? I think ours was probably my better. She had the second sight. She used a peepstone. She was able to foretell the future and speak to the dead. Earning a living on the Comstock was easy for a good, credible spiritualist. No money troubles here. I didn't rely on those stupid minds for anything. Just my skills. Death is just a transition from this world to the next, and not to be feared. A place where the living can speak to the dead. Or I guess in this case, where the dead can speak to the living.
Mrs. Lannon,
What?
may I the article in the Gold Hill Evening News?
Oh, all right. It was good.
On September 15, 1875, it was reported, and I quote, some of the Virginia City firemen say that a number of people of the city are firm in the belief that the whole, or at least the greater part of the place, will shortly be destroyed by fire. They say that disaster has been predicted by certain spiritualists. 1 month later, Virginia City was devastated by the greatest fire in its history. See? Let us go.
Say now, don't forget it's called garden shears. I'll be seeing you all sometime in the future. Enjoy.
You ready for...
Oh, excuse me. I was just thinking.
Oh, about what?
Firemen usually think about water and fire.
Oh, yes.
This plot of land is in danger. We had water running throughout most of the cemetery property in 1877. For flowers, yes, but also to protect memorials in case of fire. All I can see now is the old rusted pipes and no new source of water. Not acceptable. Some of my friends helped lay those lines and they worked quite fine. We always kept the sagebrush at a minimum as it too was deemed a fire hazard. This condition would be remedied. I was chief for the Virginia City Paid Fire Department. Started off as a junior hose member of the Knickerbocker Engine Company number 5. Then foreman of the engine company and finally chief. We had our first real fire in Virginia City in 1860 on a wintry day. No fire department. So the citizens attempted to extinguish the flames of the cabin with snowballs, as many as could be thrown. After that, we were lucky enough to have Thomas Peasley organize the first volunteer fire company in Virginia City, Virginia Engine Company number 1. He was a fireman in every sense of the Many a story has been told about the mythical but heroic deeds of Hose. He saved babies and beautiful women, and he championed popular causes. We sang songs about him and plays were done. It's what every fireman would be, including me. By 1874, the Comstock had 6 engine companies, a hook and ladder company, and 7 hose companies, 500 men. From the beginning, there was a rivalry between the fire companies and fist fights. Occasionally, this interfered with putting out fires. But a strong leader always got the men back on task, in more ways than one. No matter, we lost the Battle of 1875. October 26, 1875, a day to remember. A fire broke out in one of the lodging houses on A Street near the courthouse. All firemen were out in force. But we lost 33 square blocks of Virginia City and 1,000 homes. We lost Piper's, the International Hotel, all the train depots, the courthouse. Most of the saloons and much of the equipment and buildings of the fire department were consumed in the wood-licking flames. The newspapers blamed us, the chief engineer, for not using his water supplies wisely. The old rivalries and street fights. Not true. I blame fire. It is unpredictable and uncontrollable. She's like a woman. Not easy to read, embrace, nor understand. She'll go her own course.
George Hanbridge died of a broken neck from a fall at the Virginia City Gas Works where he was employed. His 2 sons had strayed from home and were gone all night a few days before his death. It was believed at the time that worry and distraction contributed to his fall. He was Mosed, and like many of his comrades, he was a hero on the Comstock. Let us go. Educate the orphan, visit the sick, and relieve the distress. Watchwords are friendship, love, and truth. If you'll continue down the path, we're going to stop at the wrought iron. We're going to stop at the wrought iron railing with the big pine tree. I'm going to walk alongside you on the inside. Stay for us. Don't see the company. I'm looking. Don't see. Oh, I am going to put you 6 feet under myself.
What, do you think I was dead or something? Oh, I was just with you. Takes us miners more than 6 feet under just to give us a good scare. A miner's life was a proud but dangerous life. Made a king's wage at $4 a day. And the union protected us from Chinese labor and poor wages. It was a life. A dark one, but a grand one. Miners trusted each other. We had to. Death came in many ways in the mines. What with the descent and the ascent in the cages, the fires and the poisonous gases, and of course the cave-ins. The fires probably gave us our worst troubles. The Yellow Jacket fire of 1869, now that was a lethal one. It was at the 800-foot level, and it took the lives of as many as 45 men. A mine supervisor sent down a note in a cage, and it read, "We're fast subduing the fire. It is death to attempt to come up from where you are. We'll get to you soon. The gas in the shaft is terrible and produces a sure and speedy death. Write us a note. Let us know how you're doing." Of course, there was no reply, except the lantern had been extinguished by the poisonous gases. That was a sad and quiet day. Much like today. See, all the equipment had shut down for the men to come and help. And it was quiet. Deathly quiet, just like now. Aye, bless me, mother. The fires were something fierce. But the Tommyknockers, they weren't much better. You see, we'd be watching for them down there as they're knocking on the rafters, trying to get to their attention. They'd be warning us about something. More likely just trying to anger us by taking our tools or throwing stones on our heads, those mischievous makers. Did you know there were over 3,000 miners here? Mostly Irish and English, although we had high quality men from all over the world working on Comstock. And the union did more than just protect our wages. It got better, safer. And the union hall, well, first one got burnt down in the Great Fire. But the new one, the one on B Street, that has an assembly hall, a ballroom, a chess room, and a real library. You could go anytime you like and check out a book for free. look like you're getting a wee bit tired now. You would have liked it here. The shade cast by the trees that we'd planted along the walkways and carriageways here. It was lush and green, like Ireland. Gave a man a new start. But oh, my time is up. I need to rest myself. And besides, I can hear the voices calling me down to the shack.
Jonesy was 29 when a fire broke out in the gold and cutting mine. They found him dead with the others at the 400-foot level. The funeral was held at the Miners' Union Hall. 600 attended. Hearses 2 abreast, 100 on foot, and a 12-piece band. It was a very sad day. Jonesy left behind a young dear wife.
No, widow, I am not. No matter how congenial your guests are. Oysters were the food of the Comstock. And they made a mighty fine meal. It isn't often that I get to dine as... Well, you didn't come here to talk about my food. You came here for information. And unfortunately, I'm the one